Hey guys, it's Jedi Lex, and welcome to the 12th episode of Beyond Tatooine, where I bring on different Star Wars collectors to talk about how their love of Star Wars originated, as well as take a look at and chat about their collections. And on today's episode, I have Eben from the Spice Runners Lounge. So, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited to have you on and talk to you a little bit more. So, I think it'll be pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. For people who may not be following you, I know you have a pretty big following, but can you tell us a little bit about your channel, what you focus on, and where people can find you?
For sure. So on YouTube, I go by Spice Runners Lounge. So that's a weekly podcast that we have every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a pretty fun live stream where it's almost like being at a bar. You know, we hang out, we talk Star Wars news, collecting updates, we drink, we have these secret words or whatever words, trigger words. And we take drinks when that happens. Really fun night. We try to bring people in from the community on there, so they can do something similar here. So it's a bigger outreach and other people get to know them. Bring artists in, we bring people from industry in just to interview them. On Instagram, I go by Eben the Collector. So it's Eben the Collector. There I post some collection stuff. Lately, I've just been doing a lot of history. I think the last couple months, that's all I've been doing is just deep diving into Star Wars history. It doesn't matter if it's prequels, original trilogy, sequels, just anything Star Wars, because I just love Star Wars.
Yeah, totally. I get it. So, how did you because you started the Spice Runners Lounge, right?
I did, yep.
How did that kind of come to be?
Oh, yeah. So 2021, I want to say, yeah, that's about right. George Medina started the Hyperdrive channel on Facebook. He broke out of MC, did that one, invited me on for a couple shows, and somehow I became a permanent guest. And I was like, man, I feel a void. We should have something on Friday night because his show used to be on Sunday. So, we had Collection Wars on Saturday. And I was like, I should do something on Friday so we can have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday covered. So from the Collection Wars group, I knew Scott Berry, who's on Spice Runners. I knew Jeff Sage, who's on Spice Runners, J2SO. And then like my buddy Dubak, I've known him for forever. We started collecting around the same time years ago. So I was just like, I started the show with me, Jeff, and Michelle Nooney. And I was like, do you guys want to do a podcast with me? I just want to do something every Friday, just to talk Star Wars and hang out. And they're like, hell yeah, let's do it. And then we had like Scott Berry on the show, and I was like, dude, Scott has great energy. He plays keyboard. He's just, very energetic, and he has a lot of old Star Wars history too. So, like the knowledge he brought to the show actually amplified our discussions, and just made him fun because he's a fun guy too. And then we interviewed J2SO, and then brought him on, permanently. And then we interviewed Joel Hazy, who does the custom 1/6 scales. He does custom anything nowadays, but we brought him on, and I was like, dude, this dude's fun. I'm like, do you want to hang out on Friday nights and just, be here? And he's like, hell yeah. He's like, call me in, boss. And that's how it just formed, just talking to people and getting together, and just they've had my backs, I've had their backs, and we're still here. 2 years later, we're still doing it. It's been a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I love your little background setup too, and you got the Emperor's chair. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah,
that thing is so dope.
Yeah,
I feel like I need to
Regal
get
Robot.
one of those.
Yeah, like it seems like Regal Robot has taken over my collection. I don't know if you can see the furniture back there. The light's kind of dim in here, but that's the cantina chairs back there.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And
yeah,
and
your
that
collection
chair
is definitely sick.
and that table's from Regal Robot as well.
I might have to check out some of their stuff.
Oh yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like this whole, I didn't send you their Regal Robot stuff here because I got some stuff that's like kind of classified still, so I can't be sharing that out to the public. But yeah, they got a lot of good stuff. A lot of good things in the works. They just released that Wampa puppet. I don't know if you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's badass. That thing is a work of art. Like I'm like, I want to get one, but I just don't want to spend the money right now. Got to pay taxes.
I get it. Yep, I got to do my taxes too.
Adult problems, right?
Yeah, tell me about it. So I guess, how did your love of Star Wars kind of originate? Was it something that kind of you watched throughout childhood and it's just grown, or?
Oh yeah, as a kid, I watched Star Wars a lot. So I was born in the 70s. I I watched Star Wars for the first time when probably like 81, 82. And then 83, I actually saw Return of the Jedi in theaters. My dad took me to watch that there. And I think watching it in theaters, seeing, the space scenes and, Vader and all the fighting going on just imprinted on me. Like, I just love Star Wars. Like, we used to go to the video stores back in the day to, rent videos. And the only way you can get Star Wars is on Betamax. So I used to like whine and complain to my dad. I'm like, the Betamax player. We need a Betamax player so we can watch Star Wars. And we got one eventually. And then I used to watch it all the time, like, episode 4, 5, and 6, all the time. I joined the military in the 90s. And then I think around 90 something, I forgot what year it was, 96, 97 maybe. They came out with the VHS box set where they redid a lot of the stuff and added the gold edition. I bought that thing, I think I was stationed in Germany at the time, and I watched it all the time. And I was like the popular guy because I had all 3 videos in my room, and people just to come over and just hang out. And Star Wars has been part of my life. I've always loved it. I think part of the reason I joined the Air Force was because of Star Wars, right? Because of the X-Wings and TIE fighter pilots. And I was like, I want to fly, but never really flew. I did fly, but for different reasons. And, I grew up, had my kid, started trying to influence her into Star Wars, but she kind of grew out of it. I even got like a tattoo of her when she was 2 years old, and we used to dress her up like a Star Wars character, like every Halloween. And it's just something that I live with. For me, Star Wars is part of my life. If you can see, I collect Star Wars tattoos. I got them all over me. I just went to a tattoo shop today to get some quotes for more because I just love it. It's just something that I always find something from the stories that I can relate with life. If it's either like a tragedy, a love, loss, there's something, in Star Wars for everybody. And people just, I don't think they see that. They look at the story and they're like, oh, this sucks, or, it's not for me, or, they did this and that. Star Wars fans are just crazy. But if they really sat there and paid attention to it, there's a lot of hidden things that George Lucas put into these films that can resonate for anybody. You don't have to be a Star Wars fan, but if you pay attention and see what's going on with some of the character development and where it takes them and how it ends, it's a beautiful story. That doesn't get tiring for me. I can watch it every day, all day long.
Yeah, totally. I feel like that was like so poetic because I feel like I try to tell people that I'm like, there is something in Star Wars for anyone. Like, you just have to kind of watch and find what you like and stuff like that. And, I just feel like there is something out there for everyone within the Star Wars universe. And I feel like once you kind of get into that, there's like a whole community that you really kind of get enthralled in. And it's been awesome to kind of meet different people, meet you, Tony, all the other guys, and you guys are so awesome. So I'm super glad that I kind of got into this and more like sharing my love of Star Wars, because I feel like that just brought everyone together.
Hell yeah. No, this is great. The community build up is awesome. I remember running into you in that, was it Fanboy Expo show? And you're like, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. And here you are.
Yeah,
so awesome.
I finally just pulled the trigger and I was like, I want to do it. I want to kind of see other people's collections because there's people out there that collect a lot of different things. And I feel like we all just are kind of conjoined by Star Wars, and it's cool to hear everyone's stories and see like to what extent they, collect and things like that. So I'm definitely glad that I did it. And I'm glad that I can finally have you on as well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I've seen I think all your episodes already, and it's pretty cool seeing everybody's different collections and the different things they do. And that's the cool thing about these shows, right? Because you don't know what's out there. You're like, oh, I didn't know that existed, or that came out, or and it helps you like just grow. It's like an outreach, right? You start learning about someone else, and then you meet someone else, and then next thing you know, your community is growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we do it, and I think that's why you kind of do it as well.
Oh yeah, I do it for the love of it. I just want to share. It's funny because like I had a small circle of nerds that were in the military, and we used to just share stuff all the time. And then one of my buddies passed away 2021 as well. Rest in peace, Bruce. And he was like the guy we shared Star Wars all the time. He was a big time Boba Fett fan. When he passed away, I was like, man, like I really got nobody to talk to anymore about this stuff. So I just started putting stuff back on YouTube. And then people start reaching out to me. I start reaching out to them, and I made a bunch of friends after that. And it kind of like helped fill that void. So this is good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
I love A New Hope. A New Hope is a great movie. Even though it's not the first one I remember, it's the first one that actually imprinted on me because Darth Vader. You see him for the first time and walking into the Tantive, and you're just like, oh my god, this guy is scary. As a little kid, I was just like terrified of him. And see the spaceships. You go to Tatooine and see the aliens and the cantina and all the different creatures. It just puts you in a different world. For me, it was like Wizard of Oz, right? You just wake up and you're like in a different planet, different world, and just forget about everything else. And you learn about Luke and his story, and trying to figure out, like, is he good? What is he going to be bad? What's going on here? And just the whole development of Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. I really like the storytelling. It's a fantasy that they brought us in a time where it was impossible to do a lot of this stuff. These visual effects, and it's one of my movies that I always watch. Always watch. I got hundreds of hours of views on it, probably like thousands of hours of views on it, because it's just a beautiful movie. It's just full of fun. Fun and adventure.
Gotcha. So, are you a big Luke fan, or do you have a different favorite character?
So when I was younger, I used to love Luke and Han when I was a kid. I think by the time I was a teenager, when I was in the military, I was all about Vader, always Vader. Even to now, I even got, Vader, tattoos and stuff, and Emperor tattoos, because like Vader is like my number one favorite character. The Emperor is my second favorite character. And then Obi-Wan is my third favorite. Luke is fourth, but as I grew, I tended to go more for the villains everywhere, because they're the people that you don't know what's going on with them, for them, they're doing the right thing, as we saw in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin thought he was doing the right thing. He was trying to, he was protecting Padme. He thought, taking the Emperor to court, to face the Senate was the right thing to do. And the Jedi's like, no, let's kill him. So it's just that character development and the way that Vader got created is like, I just love the character. My all-time favorite character ever, hands down.
Gotcha. Yeah, I really like Anakin. I think he's like my OG, but then getting to see him transition into Vader, I feel like was really cool. But I kind of watched it prequels and then the OT. So how was it seeing Vader, but then getting to see like kind of his beginnings when the prequels came out?
So I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, man, what did I watch? Because episode one, I was already in my 20s when that one came out, and episode two, I saw that one in theaters, and I was like, damn, this is cool, But I wasn't sure at the time about Anakin because it was a new story, trying to get used to it. Because when you watch the original so much, you picture these characters differently based on what you thought they were and things that you've read in novels or in fan fiction. And then when they realized it was a little bit different. But then as I grew older, I had my kid in 2005. That's the same year as Revenge of the Sith. I paid more attention to it in the story development. And I was like, damn. I'm like, this little kid fell in love with Padme, and then he's in the military like me. I was in the military. He went on on his deployments because he was in the Clone Wars, and then he's missing his wife. She gets pregnant and then he just, things happen, we all know what happens. And it's just, it became a tragedy, but it's a love story, like a forbidden love story that, like Romeo and Juliet, it wasn't meant to be. And like the older I got and the more I analyzed it, I was just like, damn, this is such a beautiful story. It's great. Like, yep. I think if I would have watched it like you did, I would have been devastated. I'd have been like, holy shit. And, like, I'm sorry, I don't even know if I'm supposed to cuss here, but I've been like, holy crap. Like, Anakin turns into Darth Vader. Oh my God, what's going on here?
Yeah, I was definitely shocked, but it's always interesting, like, when people watch the OT first and then the prequels came out, so they watch those. Because I was young when the prequels came out, and I was like, oh my God, those OTs, those are old movies. I'm not going to watch them. But then I ended up watching them and I realized that Anakin progressed into Vader, and then he goes on to have this whole story like with Luke and Leia and stuff, and it just kind of expanded out from there. But I thought it was crazy. Like, but Revenge of the Sith is probably my favorite movie just because you really see the turning point between Anakin to Vader, and I think it's really good.
It's a great movie. Yeah, like from the prequels, I think that's my favorite movie.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like that and A New Hope. You know, it's like perfect.
One of each. So not a big fan of the sequels then?
Not really. so to me, it's a story, right? You know, I wish George Lucas would have been involved, but they didn't want him to be involved in it because he had sold it at that point in time. The stories that he had were probably would have closed the chapter on the Skywalker saga a little bit better. The Force Awakens was good because it was things that we knew, right? It was, you know, we saw Millennium Falcon, we saw Han, we saw Chewie. There was a lot of things that, you know, resonated to the audience for the original trilogy. Last Jedi, don't know what happened there. The direction just went all over the place. I think they try to make it funny, or I don't know. I think it wasn't for the right audience. Rise of Skywalker was okay. I was one of the few that thought it was okay. A lot of people hated it, but it goes back to a lot of the books, you know, where, you know, the cloning process and trying to get the Emperor clone to just keep him going forever, right? Because that was Palpatine's end goal, was to just never die and just keep getting cloned forever. So that was kind of cool, but a lot of it felt rushed. Daisy Ridley's character development was okay. It could have been better, but it was rushed as well. And the ending just didn't make sense to me at all, you know. And she's like, "Oh, I'm a Skywalker." And I'm like, "How? If you're like a clone baby from Palpatine?" And you know, so it was just weird, you know. The story wasn't great, but it's still Star Wars, you know. Like if it's on, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna turn it off.
Yeah, I think it was definitely very jumpy and very rushed, and I think there was like a lot that was going on, but there wasn't like a complete like storyline. And then at the end when she was like, "Yeah, I'm a Skywalker," I was like, "Yeah, no, you're a Palpatine." Like just
Like,
own
what?
it, you know? I think it would have just been
Right.
better if you were like, "Yeah, I'm Rey Palpatine," and you kind of just turn the name from a negative to a positive essentially.
Exactly. Yep.
But I think that with Bad Batch, I think, you know, episode 3 that we just got, I think Filoni is really trying to kind of weave and make those connections to the sequels so that it's more relatable, I think, for fans. So I think that's
I
been
think
pretty
so.
cool to see. And I'm excited to see where Bad Batch goes. What are your thoughts on it so far?
Bad Batch so far has been great. You know, the other seasons, they were okay. For me, they were okay. This season so far, I'm enjoying it so far because I'm into the cloning stuff. So when they went into Mount Tantus, and you know, they started showing the cloning process, and you know, doing the M counts on Omega, I was like, oh, now we're going somewhere. We're going to see like what'll happen in the sequels, especially when they're talking about Project Necromancer. We heard that in Mandalorian, so we're starting to see the little tie-ins between Disney Plus stuff and then the sequels. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up in Exegol somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely been enjoying it. I like what they're trying to do, but I think there's always little tidbits that are thrown into other series in anticipation of future projects. Like, you know, in the Obi-Wan series, he was like, Quinlan's been here. So now
Yep.
I'm thinking we're kind of going to get Quinlan, maybe with
Hope
Bad
so.
Batch and Asajj. So I'm really
Yeah.
hoping, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm definitely excited to continue watching it because I've definitely was a big fan of the first 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I think Quinlan Voss is going to show up, and if Asajj is around, sounds like they're going to retcon the books. So we'll see. You know, I'm okay with that. You know, bring on Asajj. I love Asajj Ventress. I want to see more of her story, and hopefully they do like a spinoff.
I mean, I would hope so. I think there's been some talk about it, but I'm trying to like get through Dark Disciples as quickly as possible. But I love that they're kind of like bringing her back. But then they were like, yeah, we're not going to retcon the book, and I was like, I feel like you should like it, you know, just turn into canon. But
Right.
I don't know.
Right. You never know. Yeah.
They might. Do you have a favorite show? It could be animated or live action.
From Star Wars. Oh man, I have a lot of them. So I do love the Clone Wars the animated series. You know, I think more for me because I have that connection with my daughter. You know, we used to watch it when she was little. we've never missed an episode. From the live action stuff, I enjoyed Andor. I was probably one of the few ones that loved it. I loved it a lot. Actually enjoyed Kenobi too. So those will probably be like my top ones. Ahsoka was cool, but I really enjoy episode 5 when Anakin was going back in time, going to the Clone Wars. So,
Yep.
but yeah, Clone Wars all the way, animated series. So much storytelling, so much character development. They introduce you to the entire Star Wars universe. It's just fantastic storytelling.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Clone Wars is definitely my favorite. I used to watch it with my dad, kind of just like you watch it with your daughter, and we would, watch it whenever it would come on. We didn't watch like every episode, but we would kind of watch it together, and that was kind of like our bonding thing because he's the one that introduced me to Star Wars and the movies. So whenever it would come on, we'd watch it, or we'd just pop in the VHS and just kind of go from there. But I did really enjoy the Clone Wars and all the arcs that they had. Do you have like a favorite arc within the Clone Wars?
Oh my God, there's so many. I do like the Mortis arc, of course. That's probably like a lot of folks' favorites. The Siege of Mandalore was great. I really like that one. Let me see. Trying to think. You put me on the spot here.
No, you're good. There is a lot of arcs, so I know that
There's
was like
a lot of arcs.
question.
Yeah, I know. But I think the Mortis arc is probably my favorite out of all of them. You can see, the father, the son, the daughter, and talk more about the Force, which was I think the first time they've even discussed it on anything, outside the books. But I really like how they introduce those characters and how they foreshadow, Anakin, going to the dark side. So very good storytelling, and I do like how they brought that into Ahsoka. So hopefully we see more of that there. They can kind of carry on the story there and tell us what Anakin's role is now that he's in the Force.
Gotcha. I know that they're bringing that, they kind of really reference that the season finale. I feel like a lot of people have assumed Anakin's the father, and we know Ahsoka's the daughter. Who do you think the son is?
Who can the son be? I never even thought about that. Because, I don't know, it can't be Balin because he's not, I don't think he's that character. Who could be this son? I don't know. Maybe they'll drag Ezra into that. I doubt it. No, because he's good. I don't know who has that evil vibe. That's a good question. I might have to think about that one. Who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. I kind of assumed maybe one of his apprentices, but while he was Vader, maybe that could be their opportunity to bring Starkiller in, but I really don't know.
That'd be great, man. If they brought Sam into this as Starkiller.
I think it would be perfect. I've been dying for them to do that because basically Anakin's Padawan was Ahsoka and she's the daughter. So I feel like then you could have Vader's Padawan be the son. But I don't know. But I would love for them to do Starkiller. I've been waiting and waiting. Great.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's definitely good. Yeah, because I don't know if any Inquisitors are still alive. That's a good one to deep dive.
Yeah. Give it some food for thought.
You need to do a Jedi Lex Theory channel. Yeah.
Who do you think the son is?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, cool. And then you did send me some pictures of your collection, which I'm super excited to talk about because you have some really cool stuff in there. So can I pull those up?
Sure, let's do it.
So some of them I kind of put on the same slide, but I try to do all your helmets together and stuff. But
oh, cool. I'm sorry if they came out of order.
No, you're good. So what are these
Yeah, I can talk replicas? To these. Yeah. So all these are replicas. So the chrome one right there is from EFX. EFX Collectibles. They're a licensed company. They every anniversary they come out with these chrome ones. So that was the 40th anniversary for A New Hope. The middle one is from EFX as well. So that's just a stunt helmet from A New Hope. And then the one on the right is from RS Prop Masters. They're a UK-based company. They're not licensed, but they make a lot of the helmets from the molds and stuff that were used from the original movies because they've bought a lot of them through the years from the prop store and different auctions. So that one's a Sand Trooper helmet, just made exactly like how you see it on TV with the imperfections and everything. and it's signed by Chris Bunn, who was the actor who actually played that stormtrooper, a sand trooper during the movie. Yeah, it's a beautiful helmet. You know, people look at it that don't know Star Wars and they're like, "Damn, the helmet has bad paint job." I'm like, "No, it's perfect."
It's immaculate.
I love it. I'm so lucky to have it. It was a small run. I was able to get on it. You know, I was on the website like when they announced it, and I think they only did like 90 of them. It was a very small run.
Oh wow! So it's very, very limited piece.
Oh, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Where do you get the stands for those? Does it come with it when you purchase it?
So the one on the right, the RS Propmaster one, they come with those black stands, and I figured out who they buy them from. So I went back and for all my helmets bought the same one so they can be uniformed.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the plaques, do they come with them, or do you kind of purchase them from like?
So if you buy from RS, they come with some type of plaque. They're not nice, to be honest. This one is nice because it's a special edition, but like the other two that are there, I get them from Ariel Martinez. He's been doing plaques for me for years for my statues, my helmets, my autographs.
Nice. That's the AMC collect the AMC, right?
AM Customs.
Yeah.
Yeah, AM Customs. Yep. He's a good dude. Highly
I
recommend him.
purchased some of those from
you did?
MegaCon.
Dope. Like the autograph plaques?
Mm-hmm.
Dope. Nah.
I just have to figure out how I want to display those because I want to have them like up and kind of like nice, but I just haven't figured it out yet. I've got them like sitting over here.
You can frame them. You can put them in the dollar bill protective cases and put them up too with those. Yeah, there's a lot of cool ways. That's credit to my buddy Jeff Sage on the show.
Does he have them like up and displayed? I might have to go check that out.
He does. I'll send you some shots if he has them on his Instagram. If not, I'll ask him to put some so he can share.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I want to like be able to kind of slide them in and just have them hung up, but I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but maybe that'll be the way.
Awesome. Yeah, I just got them displayed with different pieces, and you'll probably see it in one of the shots how I have it displayed with one of the lightsabers.
Yeah. These are pretty cool. That Sabine helmet is dope.
It's dope, right? Oh man, that was Matt from Empire Essentials made that one, and behind it it's an actual autograph from the Sabine actress from Ahsoka, and then the card is actually the voice actress from Rebels.
Oh wow!
Which is a fantastic animated series.
Yeah,
they killed it. But yeah, so the armor helmet is from Empire Essentials. And I got Emily Swallow's autograph. The Bo-Katan is actually from Cybercraft. So it's a Russian company that I used to buy from. And I got Katie Sackhoff's signature. I got her signature in person at, that one was Star Wars Celebration. Yeah. Nice. So yeah, those are great. They're not licensed, but I bought these, a lot of these before the licensed things came out. So I love them. They do a good job. The people that make these things, they put a lot of love into it. So it's as good as it gets.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think the license aspect is pretty cool, but I think that does it make it more expensive if it comes from a licensed company or no?
I think it does because they have to pay for the license. So these guys don't pay for a license. They're a small business. They do small runs, and they're more affordable. The prices, like that armor helmet was, I don't know, probably like $350. If you get it from like EFX, for example, who has the licensed version of it, it's about $700 or $800. So it's double the price. Yeah.
Gotcha. That is definitely a jump from a licensed company. I mean, I think they look good either way.
I appreciate it. I love them. I was like, that's my female role right there.
Yeah, gotcha. And then these are some of your kind of Jango Fett, Boba Fett, and I really like that kind of Spice Runners one. That one's pretty unique.
Yeah, that's dope. So the Spice Runners one was made by Empire Essentials, and the guys got together for Veterans Day and did a plaque and did a custom stand by my buddy Brian from Brian Makes Dioramas, and they presented it to me live on a show. I didn't even know it was here. Because my buddy Jason, Duback, he lives not too far away, and he's like, "Oh, don't touch that box. It's for my wife. She's gonna come pick it up later." And the next thing you know, then during the show, he's like, "I gotta use the bathroom." He came back with the helmet. I was like, "Oh crap, that's awesome!" Oh, yeah, it's badass. I got it in my office with the military stuff. And then that middle one is from EFX. That's Boba Fett. It's a precision casted replica. So what they do is they use like an original version of it and they cast it and then they make the molds for the other ones. And then the one on the right is from the Neo Novo. So that's a Django, of course, and it's a casted replica as well. So the two on the right, of course, are both licensed from licensed companies, and the one from the Empire Essential ones is just a small business.
Gotcha. That's cool. I didn't put that together that was for Veterans Day, but I think that's like an awesome gift to kind of present you.
Oh, that was amazing. Probably the best gift ever. I wasn't expecting that at all. And I was like, damn, it's a Boba Fett with the American flag. I was like, hell yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And then these are some of the other helmets.
Yeah, so these are from Ars Prop Masters. They're all from the UK. So on the far left, that's a Snow Trooper. And then the Scout Trooper, of course, in the middle from Return of the Jedi. And then the TIE Fighter pilot, that's the Hero 1 TIE Fighter. So when you watch these things, in the costume department, they either have Hero 1, 2, or 3 because they really don't have names. So that's like their names. So that's like the first one you see on film. And then it's casted or it's made just like that. It's vacuum formed just like they would make it back in the ILM studios and it has the greeblies from the cars and stuff on it. And it's as close as you can get to the original one. I love these pieces. They're like my favorites.
Gotcha. Yeah, I want to get into the helmet collecting, but I just don't know. I feel like that's a slippery slope, kind of.
Oh my God, it's never ending because there's so many helmets. Because like the Empire has so many different variations of helmets, and then if you go on the Rebellion side, there's so many helmets, and theirs are so much bigger. Yeah. And then you got the bounty hunter helmets. There's so many bounty hunter ones. Yeah, it's never ending.
Is there any helmets that you don't have that you're trying to kind of add to your collection?
Yes, it's the AT-AT helmet, the AT-AT tank driver, or the driver helmet they call it. And it's been on my list forever. Like Ars Prop Masters made a run a couple years ago, and I barely missed it. And then I ordered one from Trooper Trent last year, so I should be next in the queue. Hopefully I get it next month in March, and then I'll be showing it off. But that's like the last helmet I want. That's the last one. I'm like, that's it, no more, because I got all the other ones that I want, and hopefully I sent you some other ones. But yeah, that's the last one. That's the last one. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. There's these. Is that the ones that you're referring to?
So these are so the one on the far right is that used to be my buddy Bruce's helmet. His wife gave it to me when he passed away. So that's a Hasbro Black Series helmet. And then the two on the left are actually from Cybercraft. They're the Russian-based company. And now that I notice, it's a little dusty up there. I didn't even notice that when I took the picture. But that Anakin's good up there just temporarily. I just threw them up there while I'm waiting on the other Anakins, because one of these shelves is going to turn into like a Vader progression shelf with all the Hot Toys. And that's where it's going to go.
Okay. How do you think the quality of the helmets differs between the more, I guess, like licensed companies versus like Black Series? Because I see the Black Series all over the place, and they seem a little bit more affordable than if you were to like purchase from other companies. But I just don't know how good they are.
So Black Series, they're getting better, but to me, they feel more like toys. And they're not accurate. So, but if you're not looking, if you don't care about that stuff, they look great displayed. Like that red one. I always forget what kind of trooper that is, shock trooper or whatever it is, or flame trooper, because that's from like Battlefront, and now they have them in Mandalorian. But if you look at it, it looks great, right? But if you turn it around, there's like a big old hole in the back for the battery pack, which kind of takes away from it. It's like, oh, it's a toy,
Yeah.
But there's like the Vader one is badass, like the one from Kenobi, that's a badass helmet. It has all the different pieces, the collar, the mask, and then the helmet. I would highly recommend it if you get that one. I have a Mandalorian one that's Black Series, and I think it looks better than like some of the licensed ones. Oops.
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want the Vader one. I think that one looks cool because it's got the 3 pieces to it, so I feel
Hmm.
like if I was to get any of them, it would be the Vader one, but I just don't know about kind of the other ones because I feel like compared to some of the other companies that, like, really kind of make them and mold them, they look a lot better, but they're definitely more expensive, and I was like, "If I go down that route, do I wanna go for quality or cheap?" You know, like, cost
Yeah.
effective or quality, so I think it's
I
a
would
tough
go
s
for quality, right? Just save up for it and then pull the trigger, because you can get quantity, but they're not going to look right, right? Eventually, you're gonna be like, oh, that one has so many imperfections, but that's if you want screen accuracy.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot
Okay.
of folks don't care. I got a buddy that just collects all the Hasbro ones, and they look great displayed. You know,
Gotcha. Yeah, I want some of the clone helmets. I think that's the avenue I foresee myself going down.
if you can find a 332 helmet, I highly recommend it. And the Hasbro one, the Black Series, it's probably the best one on the market. And that's one of the ones that doesn't even look like a toy. They actually did a good job. So that's a Cybercraft one. That one is not
Okay.
accurate at all. It bothers the hell out of me because I was like, I got to repaint this thing. but it was like
Okay.
they were the first ones that offered it before Hasbro came out with theirs. But if you can find the Black Series one, highly recommend it. Beautiful, beautiful paint job on it, and just the way it looks it's nice.
Okay. Good to know. I will be on the lookout. These are pretty
So
dope.
so so these are cool. So the two Tuscan heads are made by Rex Millennium Workshop. Dude is so brilliant, so brilliant. Good price too. And he does this as a hobby for his friends. Of course we pay him, but he does them at a good price. The gaffy stick underneath of it, that's from Rico Robot. So that one is actually molded from the original one, or scanned from the original one from A New Hope. And
Oh
then
wow.
underneath of it, I put one of those aerial plaques, but that has Alan Fernandez's autograph on it. So he was one of
Cool.
the Tuscan Raiders and a trainer. And he recently passed away, so I'm lucky I got that in my collection before that happened.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, not it's not awesome that he passed away, but it's awesome that you got his signature.
No, I got it.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that kind of sounded bad, but
No,
yeah.
you're good. Yeah, I'm just unlucky, blessed that I got it because Alan was one of those guys that people forgot about. He was in A New Hope. He was one of the elephant trainers, and he went to the conventions, and you see him at the conventions, and nobody be at his table. It was sad. And then now that he passed away, everybody's looking for his stuff. It's like it kind of sucks, but I'm glad he's getting the recognition finally that he deserves. It's a little too late.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of happens. I feel like if it's not like a big name actor, the tables are usually empty, but I feel like they're just as important, you know?
Absolutely. So yeah, so these guys right here are from my buddy Joe Hazy Customs, and I didn't pay for none of these. So we did trades. So
Well,
the one on the right is his version of a tauntaun, and it's full size, life size. It's huge.
yeah.
It's probably like 3.5, 4 feet long, and that head is humongous. The pictures don't do it justice, but it's a beautiful piece. It's in the living room. Everybody sees it when they come in, and they're just like, "Wow, that thing is awesome." And then the Wampa head as well. He made it. It's huge. It's probably like where am I on the camera? Right. So probably like this big.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, they
humongous.
look big, but I'm sure they're much bigger in person.
Yeah, he did a beautiful job. That guy is so talented. And this is like his first batch of doing life size things because he's only a 1/6 scale guy. So I was
Okay.
like, can you make me this? Can you make me that? I'm like, I'll trade you something for it. and we did it. So he's so brilliant.
Yeah,
So lucky to have him as a friend, and he does good work.
absolutely. Was
So the
this what you
one,
were referring to earlier?
which one?
The one on the left, the
The
like
the
Wampa scene?
Yeah. So that Wampa scene right there is it's a 1/6 scale diorama that my buddy Joe Hazy made as well, and that's a one of one piece because he was prototyping them and figuring out how to make these. And he made a small run of them for the Collection Wars, I believe, Facebook group. So I got this one. It was a collaboration between him and another guy. I think that was Cash. Oh, I don't have it in here, but so that's that's all 1/6 scale. That wampa is huge. It's I don't know, like 16 inches maybe, because it's scaled. And then on the right side, that's all it's an Millennium Falcon. It's inside of the cockpit, and those are Hot Toys, the 1/6 scale. Those are the licensed action figures. And that's like my favorite diorama in the house. You know, the Millennium Falcon cockpit lights up. It has sounds. You know, I bought that from Jazz Dioramas. They're I think in the Netherlands, somewhere in Europe. One of the like centerpieces in the room here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was like, it looks like it's lighting up, but I wasn't 100% sure if maybe it was just like a nice kind of glow to it, but that's really cool.
Yeah, it has a ton of LED lights in there. It's amazing. Like the guys who do these things, it's so yeah, I'm speechless. You know, it's just like the time and effort they put into like do that stuff. It's amazing.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I definitely want to check them out.
So yeah, so that's a Wicked replica head. So got that on some vendor on Etsy. My buddy David Boudreau recommended to him, and he's like a professional artist and prop maker and stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, you got to get this one." And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, "Oh yeah, I want one." You know, and I love Ewoks. You know, I was from that age group that grew up with these guys. So it's definitely. I got a lot of Ewoks in my collection. I don't know how many Ewok pictures I sent you, but I do have a lot of them. And that's a nice Wicked one. I need to weather it a little bit to make it look more screen accurate, but it doesn't bother me. I love the way it looks.
Yeah, I think it looks adorable. I mean, it might be cooler weathered, but I think it looked really good, like kind of as is.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece. Yeah, when you see it in person, everybody's like, "Oh my god, that's like Wicked's head."
That's funny. I mean, you did send me this Ewok picture, but I think those were the only two.
Yeah. So those are from Joel Hosey. He made those. Those are like some customs that he was toying around with. They're like I don't know, probably like that big. Yeah. So those are I think they were like American dolls or something, and he just cut them up and like 3D printed hands and feet and stuffed them up with stuff. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. He does amazing work. So those are awesome pieces.
Cool. I think there was, I forget if it was like Gentle Giants or maybe like Sideshow, but they had like a new Ewok like statue.
Gentle Giant came out with one. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. Are you going to get it?
I'm not sure. I was thinking about it because I was like, that can go with my, my ATST. I think I forgot to send you a picture of that. Yeah, but I was like, that'll look good in that like a diorama scene for that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I peeped that and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, like the color palette on it.
That's nice. Yeah, they did a good job with it. They did a good job with their creatures at Gentle Giant.
Yeah, totally.
So some of the statues. So the one on the left is XM Studios quarter scale. So that's Empire Strikes Back Luke at the crash scene there. Looking at the AT-AT over here. And then the two on the right are Mythos from Sideshow. So they're 1/5 scale. They're smaller than the quarter scale, but they have huge bases on them. The one in the middle is the Vader Mythos. So that one came out like 2016, 17. Rare piece. I actually got that one gifted from my buddy James Kuduku, the collector on Instagram. Dude, he's awesome. He's like one of my good friends. He's always like one-upping me on gifts. So every time I think I give him something nice, he's like, "Oh, here's this one. Hold my beer." And then Asajj Ventress, she's such an awesome character. When that came out, I was like, I had to have it. I think I was probably one of the first ones that clicked on that button and bought her. But she's paired up with him in the display up there. Really love those statues. They're awesome. So many details, especially on her base. So many details on there.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are really cool. I know that they're like massive because I see them in the comic shops all the time, and I was like, I would love to have one of these, but I have no idea where I would put it.
They're big. Yeah, it's a marriage if you buy them. I think I have between like all the different properties because I collect Star Wars and Marvel and Batman as well. I'm getting close to like 30 statues maybe. So got stuff all over the house.
Gotcha. I didn't know you were like a Marvel DC fan too.
Yeah. So bigger Star Wars number one, and Marvel DC probably tied at two. Lost the love for that, through the years. This is it for me. You can even see like if you ever came to my house, you would see it in the living room how it's like slowly migrating. All the Star Wars slowly migrating across the house.
Yep. I feel like that's happening. I've kind of like started putting all my Star Wars stuff everywhere.
Hell yeah.
But
Just
you gotta
displays
do what you
well.
gotta do.
Yeah.
It does.
These are some of the, these are all from Sideshow, quarter scale statues, all from A New Hope. So left is Luke Skywalker with his. Wait, no, that's not New Hope. That's Empire. That's the Empire one, and then the middle one is that's supposed to be A New Hope, and then the one on the right is A New Hope from Princess Leia. So yeah, these are beautiful pieces. They came out with I think all five of them. Chewie, Obi-Wan, Luke, and these guys. A couple years ago, but I missed the original run of Luke, so I ended up getting the Empire Luke, and then I had the Han. I still got these Han and Leia, but I sold Chewie because it was so big. The whole statue thing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fit in these Bestas, and I wanted them all to fit in the Besta. That's my rule. It has to fit in the Besta, and I'll buy it. So it didn't fit in the Besta, and I was like displaced by himself, and I was like, man, this doesn't look right. So I just ended up. I actually gave it to my buddy. I didn't sell it. I gave it to my buddy James, because we keep giving each other statues and stuff. But yeah, I love those pieces, especially that Princess Leia. It's so beautiful. They did her justice.
Yeah, they did. I think they do a really good job, like with their statues and the detail that they're able to get on them. They're amazing.
Absolutely, totally agree. And this is some of my Boba Fett stuff. So on the left there, so these are all from Sideshow. The one on the left is the Mandalorian version of Boba Fett when he was a badass. Actually, I loved him and Mandalorian. So when they announced this, I was like, I'm buying it. I love it. I don't care what people say about the character. I think his portrayal in that was pretty dope, and it's a great piece. Everybody that comes into this room and sees it are like, oh my god, that's badass. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's amazing. Like the pictures don't even do it justice. And then the one in the middle, it's Boba Fett, Return of Jedi. That's that came out probably like, I don't know, close to like 8 or 9 years ago. But I picked it up probably like 4 years ago here in Orlando at a good deal, because something was broken on. It was one of the swap out pieces. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I'm not going to ever display with that. So I got that at a good deal, good price. I love that piece. And then on the one on the right is the Sideshow bust, Boba Fett. So it's the Return of Jedi version of it. And it's not screen accurate. I know a lot of people complain about it, but a lot of this stuff's not screen accurate. It's idealized, and people have a hard time understanding it. They're like, well, it's licensed. It should be, as close as possible. Yeah, but nobody can replicate this stuff. If you wanted to replicate it to look exactly how it looked on screen, then you're going to be paying a ton of money to get that likeness, and people don't understand that. For $800 or whatever that thing cost at the time, $900, it's perfect. I'm like, I think it's great.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I mean, I think a lot of the pieces, as long as they're close, I don't think it matters if it's totally screen accurate or not, because I think it looks awesome either way. You're not going to notice the tiny imperfections.
Not at all. Like it's like over there right now, and I'm looking at it. I was like, that thing is just impressive. You look at it, you're like, damn, that's Boba Fett.
Yeah, and it lights up too, right? It has like electronics.
It has it has the heart rate monitor or whatever it is, and then the number for the. I forgot what that's for. I think it's heating and cooling. But it just rotates. Yeah, it just rotates. It's like different numbers all the time, characters and numbers.
Cool. That's pretty awesome. And then these
some more hot toys. Well, yeah, diorama. So like the one on the left, that diorama that's in there is from Jazz Inc. And I just noticed that the seal's undone. Dang, I didn't even notice that when I took the picture. But the Vader's from Hot Toys, the Stormtroopers from Hot Toys, and that dead Rebel scum right there is from Sideshow. So that's they're all 1/6 scale. That's all in my office. So when I'm on Zoom calls at work, people see that stuff and they're like, "What's that? What's that?" So I end up telling stories instead of doing work. And then the right side is just some of the Bespin figures from the Hot Toy line. Lando and Princess Leia. So those are pretty cool. Pair them together. Need to build some more stuff around it so it can look like they're in Cloud City.
Interesting. Like, are you going to try to get like a diorama set for it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know people that make dioramas and got some ideas going there.
Okay. I'll be interested to see how that comes out.
Hell yeah. I want each one of those to look like they're in some kind of diorama, some kind of scene. I think it makes the figures pop out even more to tell that story.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it looks pretty cool when they have the dioramas, or at least the ones that you have like sent me. They look really awesome. I think it makes them pop.
And then this is a funny story. So that Bausch Leia is actually a Hasbro toy, like a 12-inch toy. A couple years ago at MegaCon, I was so drunk, and there's a guy selling these things, and I bought like a ton of them. I bought a ton of them. I was like, I want that one, that one, that one, that one. And I ended up left with like 2 bags. But I was like, what am I going to do with these? And then I bought that Bausch helmet from one of these British guys I know, PSD Armories, because I've always wanted a Bausch helmet. It's one of the things I've always been chasing after. And I was like, ooh, I can pair this up with the Bausch helmet, and that'll look freaking awesome. So that's so it's a Hasbro 12-inch doll, and then the helmet is custom made from the UK, and I got it paired up with Nilo Rodis. Was it Nilo Rodis Jamero? I always forget how to say his whole name, but he's the actual guy who designed the character of Bausch Leia and a lot of other characters and vehicles. He was a designer for Return of the Jedi. So that was signed through Imperial Walker Inc. Hector, who's a friend of ours on the show. He does signings with a lot of the behind the scenes type people from ILM, and he did a run of these, and I was able to get a couple of his signatures. One for that, for the AT-AT, for the ATST, and the Slave One. So, nice. And then that thermal detonator is it's actually from Roman Props. So it has a soundboard and everything in it. So you turn it on, it makes noise, it does lights, and Mandalorian actually commissioned Roman to build some for Mandalorian. So those things have like lineage to Mandalorian now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So what did you do with the rest of the dolls that you purchased?
Got a bunch of them in the little storage right here. I got all the bounty hunters. I got like the Cantina band, and some of the monsters.
Nice.
I know my buddy J2SO, I gave him 1 or 2 of them as well.
Okay. Yeah, those are cool.
They're cool, yeah. So these so the left piece and the middle piece are from NYC. So it's custom, fan made. It's almost like Kickstarter. You buy these things and they get made. So that AT-AT, it's not studio scale. I don't know what scale it is, but I just call it a NYC scale. But it's made out of like poly resin. It's almost like a statue, but a model. Very, very freaking badass. Just the presence of it alone is just beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. And of course, I got it. Got the Nilo Rodis signature on it. The middle one is the Probe Droid from NYC as well. It's I want to say it's like quarter scale. It's like a quarter scale model. Beautiful piece, very well done. He did a lot of research with the archives and the movies to see like if you can get the paint app as close as possible. I think he did a great job. There's a lot of other like elitists that don't think he did a great job with it, but I don't know. It's a beautiful piece. He knocked it out of the park. Yeah. And then that helmet on the right is from it's actually a custom helmet. I got it from Cloth Ears. They do like a lot of high-end replicas. They do costumes. They do helmets. So they came out with this Lando Calrissian Skiff Guard helmet. It took a little over a year for them to make it all the way from the UK, but I got it paired up with like, it's not in the shop, but so Billy D. Williams.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got it paired up with this plaque.
Cool. Did it come with that base?
It did, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a cool looking base. It's a nice touch, huh?
Yeah, it is really cool. I was like, wow, like not that's an impressive helmet, but the base itself is really dope too.
It's they did a great job. That helmet is as close as you can get to like what they did on screen because they use the same type of helmet on the bottom. Like it's like a construction helmet and same technique as the original one. There's some 3D printing on there because it's quicker to do it nowadays than making teeth, but it's a dope piece. They did a good job.
Yeah, totally. It looks awesome. And I love the mythosaur.
Yeah, so that Mythosaur skull is from Regal Robot. It's huge. I want to say it's 18 inches long. And then on the right side, on the back there, that's from Regal Robot as well. That Mudhorn plaque. And then the sideshow quarter scale Mando with his disco pose right there. And they got a bunch of stuff in there. That's like my Mando love cube right there. I got the Mando and his regular armor. That's a Gentle Giant. Half was it 1/6 scale half bust. My buddy Jason Duback gave me a couple years ago, and then the Disney Plus, not the Disney Plus, the Disney Legends. What's it called? Legacy lightsaber, dark saber, and then on the bottom you can't really see it, but it has Giancarlo Esposito's autograph in there, and then on closer to the picture, it's Cara Dune. Was it what's her real name? Gina Carano. Yeah. Gina Carano. So her autograph in there, she was super cool. Got it from her probably like 2 years ago at MegaCon.
Okay. Yeah, she was there this year too.
I know, I missed her. I was like, dang, I didn't get a chance to go see her. She's cool. Like a lot of people dog her, but she's so cool. She's like the coolest person.
Yeah. I was a little like devastated when they kind of took her out of Mando because I thought her character like added so much presence. I thought it was great, but
that was a great character.
Yeah,
because they never like had like a Republic, shock trooper or whatever before, and she was the first one. But then politics got in the way, and they booted her. It's just weird. Just weird how they run the business.
I mean, they gotta do what they gotta do, I guess. But I was definitely sad when they removed her character. But
yeah, same. Because I was like, damn it, I was looking forward to the spinoff and seeing where they went with that, and there's so many stories they could have told with her.
Yeah, definitely. I think it like added a lot to the show, but not much I can do about that.
I know, right? Yeah, we don't know the behind the scenes either, so
nope.
All right, some more. This is all licensed stuff. So the Han Solo blasters from Master Replicas, that's an old piece. Those came out in the early 2000s. They were like the first people to actually make prop replicas of the weapons. So they're very, very hard to find. And if you can find them, you're going to pay a lot of money for them. I was lucky that I bought these when they were still kind of affordable. But now, like that Han Solo blaster right now, if you want to find one, it's $3,000 to $4,000, to buy one.
Wow.
And that E11 blaster down there, it's a Stormtrooper blaster from Master Replicas as well. Those things go, $1,000 to $2,000, even higher now. And the reason that one is a little bit cheaper than the Han Solo blasters because they made a lot more of the E11 blasters. The top one is a limited edition. And then on the right side, that's a Ruby's Han and Carbonite life size. It's I'm 6'1", and that thing is way taller than me. I actually bought that at Star Wars Celebration Chicago 2019. I was eyeballing that thing for a couple of days. And I told my wife, I always tell the story. It's funny. I was like, I want to buy this lamp, but the lamp is like $2,200. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm conflicted. and then she's like, just buy it so you don't have regret. Oh, okay. But the lamp has a Han Solo and Carbonite on top of it too. Though, are you okay with that? She's like, just buy it. You're gonna regret it. So I bought it there on a Sunday when it was like discounted. So I got it for a cheap price. It was $2,200, but it's like $4,000 I think originally. And they sold it to me like half price shipped. And so I was good deal. I couldn't beat it.
So they shipped it for you too.
Mm-hmm. They created it and everything. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good deal. I couldn't pass up.
Absolutely. That's a pretty cool piece. I always love kind of seeing those because I think they just look so cool.
Oh, dude, it is impressive. Like I've had it for a couple years now, and I just sometimes I just catch myself staring at it. It's just like just so dope, you know.
Glad you got it then.
Oh, thanks. And then left right there. So that's I guess I should have opened up the display when I took that one. My bad. But those are Hot Toys, the stormtroopers, the undercover stormtrooper Han and Luke. Those are from Hot Toys, A New Hope. And then that Princess Leia is from General Giant. It's the Milestones line. So I just paired them all up together to pretend, they're on some kind of rescue mission. And those backgrounds are from the figures. So I gotta get someone to make me a bunch more so I can just go around and it'll be just a complete diorama to look like she's in a prison cell.
Nice.
And then at Gamorrean Guard, that was from my buddy Joe Hazy. So my buddy James, again, he bought that for me this past Christmas. And funny story on that one, I had commissioned Joel to make me a Gamorrean Guard head, and it's a huge head, it's life size. And I kept asking him every week, I'm like, hey, dude, where's my Gammy? Where's my Gammy? He's like, oh, I'm working on it. I'm like, where's my Gammy? And next thing you know, like on the 23rd or whatever, my buddy James shows up with a box that had Ninja Turtles all over it. And I was like, he's like, I got you a present, dude. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't collect Ninja Turtles. And then I opened it up and it was the Gammy. I was like, you mother effer, I'm like, that's why Joel was like not responding to me. And Joel's like, bro, he's like, that was the hardest secret I had to keep. He's like, I was hoping you didn't get mad at me or anything, but good thing he didn't, because he thought I was gonna like get mad for him not like delivering on his promises. So that was a cool gift. I definitely cherished that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's nice that you have like friends that you get these really cool gifts from. It's pretty awesome.
Just lucky, just blessed.
Yep.
And then this is artwork from, so I collect art too. I got a lot of art all over the house. So these are like high-end prints. So like the Vader in the middle, he only made 4 of it. Marcel Chenet. So he's a Canadian artist. He does all these things by hand, by pen. I forgot the artist technique he's using, but it's like a dot. He does a dot for every, like a little pixel for every drawing. He doesn't do brush strokes or nothing like that. And one of these, like the original painting could take him a couple months to do, like 3 to 6 months because of all the detail. So like the Ralph McQuarrie on the right side, the blue Vader helmet, that's a Ralph McQuarrie concept that he did using an EFX as a model. And he only made a small run of those. It was signed by him. And I got number 1. So I was lucky to get that one, number 1. And then that middle one is like that frame is like a little over 4 feet. So it shows you how big it is. And I got a 13-foot ceiling here. So it's all the way on the other side in the back. And it looks tiny because of the size, but it's so huge. When people see it up front, they're like, oh my God, that thing's humongous. And then the Emperor, the Palpatine, that was another small run he did on his signature edition. So beautiful pieces. I actually got a couple more I haven't got framed. I got his World Guard and a C-3PO. Beautiful pieces. I highly recommend them. Marcel Chenet.
Yeah, I think the Vader on the right is probably my favorite. I think that looks so cool with like the blue.
Yeah, the concept Vader. I love that piece. So you asked me earlier if there was a helmet that I'm still looking for. That's another one of them that I'm still looking for. Like the original EFX helmet that they made for that, the only licensed one that's out there in existence, it goes for like $11,000 to $20,000. So wow. I'm like, I'm never gonna get one unless someone else gets a license to make it.
Yeah, that would be a cool helmet to have, but
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Is this under that?
So this is on the other side of the room.
Okay.
So yeah, under that is all the Boba Fett stuff, like the Boba Fett Mandalorian. Gotcha. So that's on this side of the room right here. I don't know if you can see where am I on the camera? I'm looking at a couple different monitors here, so I'm just like, where am I? But yeah, so that's like up there. So the Vader and the 2 Royal Guards, those were from Sideshow. That Vader is called the Lord of the Sith. It came out like in 2015, and I've moved like 3 times, and it still hasn't broken on me. So I've been lucky. The two Royal Guard helmets on the side are both licensed pieces from the Neo Novo. So I bought those last year when they came out. So I got them paired up for now like that, and I think I'm going to swap it out. I'm going to put the big Vader up there, and I move these guys to the bottom. That way I can have like the life-size Vader and then the two Royal Guard helmets. I'm going to get some red velvet and put it around it so it can look like some real folks back there. Yeah, it's like one of my favorite like displays here in this room.
Yeah, that definitely looks really cool. Even with like the picture behind it, I feel like it all just like goes together very nicely.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then some more life-size bust. Yeah, so the one on the left is the Emperor from Sideshow. That's an older one from around 2008. And I think the one on the right is around the same year, 2008. But the one on the left, I got a plaque from Ariel, of course, and I had Ian McDermott sign it. So Ian McDermott's so cool. I actually took a picture of it. I don't know if you saw it, but I took a picture with him. And I was like, hey, man, I got you tattooed on my arm. He's like, he looked at it and he's like, take a picture, like in the Palpatine voice. And then the guy took a picture of his handler, and people were like teasing me, like, are you guys going to prom together? It's the way he was holding my arm. But it was an honor to meet him. He's such a nice guy. And then Darth Maul, yeah, that's a cool piece. Love it. It's paired up with Disney lightsabers. I was never like a Darth Saber, a lightsaber collector from the Disney stuff, but then they're so accessible. And every time I went to the park, I was like, oh, I want that lightsaber. I want that lightsaber. I want that lightsaber. Then next thing you know, I'm a Disney lightsaber collector, even though I'm collecting like some of the high-end replicas. Oh my God. So funny.
Yeah, they're cool. And then that, I forget what it's called, but the thing that kind of like, is that like authentic?
Which one?
Like on the right, in between Yoda and the Darth Vader helmet.
I forgot about that picture. My bad. Yeah, so the clapperboard. So the clapperboard is a replica. There's a guy that we know in the Facebook groups that makes them, and he's in the Spice Runners Facebook group as well. Simon Farrell, great artist. He can make any of them. It doesn't matter like if it's from episode 1 all the way up to Last Jedi. He knows all the different ones that they've used. And and even in one movie, they'll use like a couple different types, and he'll know which scene it is, which take and the writing, and he'll replicate it 100%. So that one I bought because I got that Yoda underneath of him. And then that Yoda was made from Philip Thomas Robinson, who actually works on Doctor Who. He's actually a costumer, a visual effects person for Doctor Who. And so he made that one for me. And I was like, I want to get the clapperboard for the first time you see Yoda on screen. And the guy's like, oh, I know exactly which one that is. And he made it for me. And above that is, oh, dude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then above him is I think that's from what? When was the first time they showed that? That was the Force Awakens, maybe? The burnt Vader helmet? But it's from the sequels.
So. Yeah.
Disney Park sequel exclusive, burnt Vader helmet. But I have it up there. I have it in my collection because I'm like, that's Return of the Jedi. Because he actually got burned in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So
it's a cool piece.
Yeah, normally it's supposed to be displayed, laying flat, but I drilled some holes in it and modified it a little bit so I can hang it on the wall. So I have it hanging up there and got some lights pointing at it so I can give it like a little crazy look up there. And then on the left hand side, there's a bunch of like random stuff that's all from like Regal Robot and some vintage figures that are graded as well. Got the double telescoping Luke on one, and then just the Vader on the other one, the regular telescoping Vader on the other one. So those are all graded, and everything else is from Regal Robot. It's like a little miniature. What was that?
I think the one there's like a mythosaur head.
I think that's a mythosaur head. Yeah, mythosaur head, and then there's the mudhorn, and then those. Oh, those are the Salacious Crumbs. See no evil, hear no evil. Speaking of evil. And then you got the space worm on top. I think that was the first Regal Robot piece I bought a couple years ago. And then next thing you know, half my room is Regal Robot now. I mean, I'm sitting on Regal Robot stuff right now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll have to check out Regal Robot. It seems like they have a lot of really good pieces, at least from what I've seen in your collection.
They have a lot of cool stuff. So all this stuff is custom stuff. So the Greedo is a guy on Etsy. I can't say his name. It's hard to pronounce. I always confuse it. But he made that. It's pretty nice latex. The gun, I got it from one of the guys in the Spice Runners lounge, Jeff Longois. He's a Canadian dude, super nice guy. That Jawa, I actually made that Jawa. I'm still a work in progress, but I got some help from some 501st dudes that know how to make the costumes and stuff. And I commissioned someone to make the robe and the outfit, and I've been piecing them together for a couple of years now. It's always a work in progress. And then the Greedo on the right is from NYC. Michael from NYC did an amazing job with that Greedo. It actually came with a print from David Boudreau. I wish I should have taken a picture of that, but it's a beautiful piece. Yeah, that thing is awesome. I have him. I actually have him next to Han Solo now. So Han Solo's in one wall shooting, and he's on the other side. It's funny.
That's cool.
But I love Greedo. Greedo's like one of my favorite creatures. The Rhodians. Love that species. Yeah.
They're definitely a unique species.
Yeah, they are. And they all dress the same, which is a funny thing.
Yeah.
And then, so that training remote in the back, it's from NYC. And the only reason I blocked the plaque is because I take a lot of pictures for people that do licensed stuff. So you can't have like non-licensed stuff in some of these photos. So that picture in the front, that lightsaber in the front is from EFX. So that was the Mandalorian Luke Skywalker lightsaber. It came out a couple months ago. So when it came out, I jumped on it right away because I was like, dude, I don't have like a prop replica license, Luke Skywalker lightsaber. I got a couple of Luke Skywalker lightsabers, but they're not, licensed. And I don't think I sent you those pictures.
I have a few of the lightsabers that you sent, but I don't know if there's another Luke per se. I
think the other ones were the Obi-Wans, and so that's an Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that's from episode 4, and then that's one of those aerial plaques. I just threw it in there.
Did you get that one signed this year at MegaCon, or did you have that like prior?
So that one, actually, my buddy James gave it to me. he got it for me because I was gonna get one, and he's like, before you buy anything, I got something for you. And he came over and he showed it to me. I was like, oh damn. So I didn't buy the signature for Ewan. I did the picture with him, the photo op. Yeah. And then for Hayden, I actually mailed in my plaque, so hopefully it makes it back any day now. I just don't like waiting those lines. Yeah, even with the VIP, I still don't like waiting lines. I'm like, if I'm taking a picture, I'll do it,
Yeah, I think the lines definitely are killer because that's the first time I've done like a photo op with Hayden, and they were like running late or whatever on top of it, and it just took a while. But
it was a while. It's better than the previous year because last year I did a picture with Hayden and I was VIP, and I still waited a couple hours. It was like 2 or 3 hours in VIP. This year was a lot quicker. I think it was like 40 minutes. So they've improved the process a lot.
That's not bad. Yeah, I think we were supposed to, like, my group was slotted for like 3:30, but I guess they were like running behind with autographs or something. So we didn't even start, like, the line didn't even start moving till like 5:30.
I heard.
Yeah. I was like, ugh.
I felt bad for everybody because he even did a panel on Saturday, and I was at that panel, and then they gave people tickets, makeup tickets for the ones that missed their signatures. So they got a chance to go do their signatures there. That was pretty cool. They did that. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, that's, I was wondering because I feel like the panel took a while to get started, but I really enjoyed that panel. I thought that was like phenomenal. It would have been cool to see them.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I think it would have been cool if they were like on together for like a little bit of time.
That's what that's what I thought they were going to do. I was like, man, that sucks. They're like individual,
Yeah.
But the emotion that I felt when Hayden walked out, it's like dun dun dun. I was like, oh, Darth Vader.
Yeah. I thought it
Yeah,
was awesome when they walked out. They hugged each other, and
yeah,
it was
almost
just
kissed.
literally. I was gonna say, I was like, I think they almost kissed, but I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah, they almost kissed. It was funny, but they're like brothers. You know, you can see the energy. They love each other. They're family. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. They have a very good dynamic, which I love. So
I'm just happy they're getting the love they deserve. You know, they really haven't gotten it through the years, and now like everybody wants to see them. And I'm just like, they've always been cool. I'm like, all of a sudden, you know, there's someone people chasing after.
yeah. I've always loved the two of them, so I think it's crazy that like prior they haven't gotten that, but I think it's nice that the community is finally starting to show them the appreciation that they really deserve and that they are wanting to do these conventions and these panels and photo ops and stuff. So I think it's awesome. We're going in the right
It is
direction.
awesome. Heck yeah, I totally agree. So happy they're doing this.
It's about time.
So that's a biker scout. It's a mold of the original one. I don't know how many molds later this is, but it's a mold from the original ones.
Is it like metal?
No, it's
Or
resin.
okay.
Yeah, a lot of the props they used back then were casted resin. You know, they'll use like a real handgun, cast it with some crap they made, you know, with some greeblies, and then that's how you got your weapon.
Gotcha. Okay. Maybe it was just
Yeah.
the paint job that made it look kind of
Yeah, the paint
metal,
job.
but
Yeah, they put some metal luster on it, and they did a good job with the paint app.
yeah, fooled me.
And then this is another master replica, is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is kind of rare. I love this piece. This is from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and it goes for a lot of money now. Like I don't even want to say how much it goes for because I don't want nobody coming to my house. But it goes for a lot of money now. It's a pretty rare piece, and there's one that's more rare that has some of the autographs, and that one's even more expensive. That one's like
Wow.
in the tens of thousands. Wow, this is almost up there. You know, eight to $9,000.
I
It
mean,
is crazy.
it's a cool saber though. Or
Oh,
at
I
least
love it.
the hilt is really cool.
I love it. Yeah, the whole design, right? They use a grenade, and you know they just built it out of a light flash and put it all together, and you're like, oh damn, who would have thought? You know, a old grenade, a flashlight handle, and a calculator button would look this cool.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
And then that's
This
from
one
Count
though is
Dooku.
really cool.
I love the design on it. You know, like I love anything Sith. So when I got my hands on this one, I thought I won the lottery because I bought it for a good price, and now you can't find them for under $800, I think. And yeah, I paid like $350 for it. I thought I stole it, you know. But
Yeah.
Count Dooku, master replicas, yeah, licensed. They try to make them as close to the screen accurate as possible. There's still some imperfections on it because nothing, like I said earlier, nothing's ever screen accurate. It doesn't matter how close they get to it. It's never 100%. But I love it. You know, like seeing it in person, you're like, man, it's such an elegant looking weapon.
It is. It's definitely very unique. I feel like out of all the hilts, that one is very different than like anything else, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely, very elegant. You know.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And then on the left, so on the left side, that's all master replicas. So that's that Princess Leia blaster it's a very rare piece. That's actually an artist proof. So
wow.
I think they only made 4 of those in the world, the artist proof edition. So love that piece. That one has to get buried with me. And then the 2 on the bottom are Vader's. So one's from Episode 4, and the other one's from Episode 5. They're both master replicas. Love those guys. Oh, cool! I did send you this one. So this is like a custom base I had made, and it says Skywalker lightsaber. So I try to do like Anakin's lightsaber as Episode 3 Anakin, and then a Vader Anakin, and then you got Luke Skywalker from New Hope, and then you got Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, and then all the way in the back you can barely see it. It's Vader. It's a Vader lightsaber as well. That's one of the reveal ones, so you can actually open up and look at the crystal on the inside.
Cool. Is that thing that the shelf for thing that it's kind of like resting on, is that from Etsy?
This black one
No, the one that the
on top.
Vader.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's from
Okay.
Etsy. Yep. Yeah,
I've
those are
seen
all over
those.
Etsy now. Even Star Wars Theory's making some now. I don't know if you saw his Theory sabers.
I've seen his sabers, but not the.
Yeah, it's on one of his videos he came out with maybe Thursday or Friday. He's making like ones you can put on a table and they stand. They stand up right, but the same kind of base with the lights and stuff that change color.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. And I think this is the last of the pictures that you've sent.
Okay. So yeah, definitely forgot to send you some other stuff. But could do a part two another day. So the Yoda. So that's the one we talked about previously from Philip Thomas Robinson. It's pretty damn spot on. You know, the paint people, you know, they're like it could be darker, it could be lighter, but the thing with the paint app on that one, it's an old film footage, and the only way to know what paint it was if you're on the set, because you can't base it on the lighting and the film footage. So I'm happy with it. Some people are like, oh, it should be darker or it should be lighter. I'm like, no, I think it's perfect. You know, if you see it on hand, it's perfect. It's beautiful. Love that
I think it's
piece.
spot on.
I love it. And then the C-3PO from Sideshow, I actually got that last year. It's something I've been looking for forever. And it's so overpriced now because they didn't make that many. And it's, you know, it's something that everybody wants a C-3PO in their collection. I bought it for a good price. Those things go for like $3,000 to $4,000 right now in the secondhand market. I have them paired up with a Disney Parks picture holder. And then I have Anthony Daniels. Pretty cool. And then the Vader. And that's a Vader from a Sideshow as well. I didn't catch the signature, my bad. So the signature down there is Brian Muir. So he's a sculptor of the Vader helmets. So he did Vader helmets, he did Stormtrooper helmets, the CZ droid, and some other stuff for like Aliens and other movie properties. But he's still alive. You know, he's in his 70s, and like I've actually like, you know, become friends with him through the years, just, you know, over social media and just always chatting with him. Very nice guy. Him and his wife, they're awesome. So I highly recommend people, you know, go check out Brian Muir's website, MUIR, and go buy something before he passes away. You know, these people are all getting old in age, and we don't know how much longer we have him for. But to have his autograph, the sculptor of Vader in my collection is like priceless.
100%. Yeah, you got some cool stuff. So I do have some round out questions, I guess, before we hop off about collecting.
All right.
When did you get into collecting? Like serious collecting?
The high-end collecting? Let me take a sip of water.
Yeah, okay.
You probably can edit this out. No, so I've been collecting for a long time. I want to say around 2008 is when I started getting into the Sideshow stuff. So, you know, that was started off with the 160, you know, Scum and Villainy line from Sideshow. That's like the bad guys from the Cantina, you know, like the Greedos, I forgot who else was there, like the Bosch Leia. I've had all these figures through the years, and I've sold them, you know, moved up to Hot Toys. Some of the other figures that I sold, you know, I bought like sabers and like the high-end sabers, and then I started getting into statues. And then I just stopped selling stuff for a long time, and I accumulated a lot of stuff. And then I started selling, you know, laugh. So I sold a lot of stuff during, after Last Jedi, I sold a lot of my Star Wars stuff. But then I made a lot of money back, and I was like, ooh, let me buy more expensive stuff. So I just reused the funding that I have to buy the bigger thing, the next thing. And right now I think I've have everything in my collection that I ever wanted, you know, like especially it's more like the characters and vehicles and, you know, and representations that I've always wanted, you know, the AT-AT, you know, the Viper droid, I got an Imperial shuttle coming in, you know, I'm still missing the AT-AT tank or the AT-AT driver and, you know, and that concept Vader helmet. But it's just been years of collection, years of, you know, saving up. I try to buy everything cash because, you know, buying the stuff on credit is the worst thing you can do. I always tell, like, you know, new collectors, if you can't afford it, don't buy it, you know. And people are like, man, that's kind of like smug. I'm like, no, dude, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Don't put yourself in debt over this stuff. It's just a hobby, you know. I'm just lucky, you know, blessed. You know, I did 22 years in the military. I got a military retirement, so it's extra income that I can, you know, I can actually use to go buy some of this stuff. Um, so yeah, it's just been since 2008, been buying all this stuff and accumulating.
Yeah, I get you. What kind of got you into collecting Star Wars stuff?
Collecting Star Wars. So I've always collected some type of Star Wars. You know, when I was a kid, of course, my parents used to buy me the vintage figures. And then when I grew up, of course, I used to buy my own figures. When I was in the military, because I joined the military in '95, I think on like my first freedom from the base when I was in training, I actually went out and bought some more vintage figures and as time went on, you know, I was stationed overseas. I always used to go look for like the figures that were made overseas. So I was always collecting those guys. And then when I came back to the States in 2000, I started, you know, I slowed down a little bit, but if I found something, you know, I'll buy, you know, like the Power to Force stuff came out. I bought all those and then eventually sold all those too. So I can buy some other things. And then again, like 2000, it all goes back to 2008 when my buddy Dubak, you know, he had just got with his current wife, his only wife, you know, and he had he had like all these little sideshow things and like these prop replicas, and I was like, "Where'd you buy that at, dude?" He's like, "Oh, sideshow." I'm like, "That was the worst mistake ever," because I'm buying all these other like you know like these sideshow figures and hot toy figures and statues and it just never stopped. It never stopped since I was a kid. You know, it's been like something I've done my whole life.
Gotcha. And then my last question, which might be difficult, what is your favorite piece in your entire collection?
Oh my God. Favorite piece. I got so many of them.
Or maybe like most meaningful.
Most meaningful, yeah, the most meaningful one. Well, I guess, you know, like my buddy James is a good friend of mine. That Vader, Mythos Vader that he gave me, amazing piece. You know, I kind of regret not getting it because I was in the military when it came out, so I wasn't making that much money back then. And I was like, damn, I always wanted that piece. I always wanted that piece. And in the secondhand market, it was stupidly priced. And then I think he's heard me talk about it on Spice Runners, like, you know, and then one day he's like, hey, bro, I got a Christmas present for you. And then I opened it up and I was like, oh, no, you didn't, dude. I'm like, I know this ran a lot. He's like, it doesn't matter for you, man. And that meant a lot. You know, that was a great gift. You know, between that and the Boba Fett helmet the guys gave me, it's priceless. You know, it's like it's not even the stuff that I bought. It's stuff that people are giving me. It probably means more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. Well, those are all the questions that I have for you. It was great having you on and finally really getting to like chat with you and learn more about your collection and the Spice Runners Lounge. Before we jump off, though, can you let the people know one more time where they can find you if you have anything upcoming that you want people to be on the lookout for?
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. So on Instagram, you can find me at Eben.thecollector. So I'm always there. I think I just hit 5,000 followers on there. So that's cool. That account is just growing like crazy. So I appreciate everybody, you know, that's following me there. On YouTube, Spice Runners Lounge, we have a show every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's live. A lot of fun. Highly recommended. You know, I'm not trying to sell it, but highly recommended. And I also have a sister show that's on Sundays. So Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a Rogue 5 Cantina. So it's part of the Spice Runners Lounge family. It's you know, it's a lot of people from the Spice Runners Facebook group run that show. So appreciate them for doing that. And yeah, that's where we're at. From upcoming events, we really don't plan that far ahead anymore. We used to. I used to do long range planning where I had like all these guests, you know, lined up, and you know, like even if they're celebrities or artists or whatever. Right now, we're just hanging out, having a good time. You know, I think after Bad Batch, we'll start bringing in people on. If people are located in Florida and May the 4th in Hollywood Studios, we're doing a big get together. So feel free to go over there. It's going to be like Spice Runners and Hyperdrive. So we're all going to do a big thing over there. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It was great talking with you. And I will see everybody next Thursday.
Awesome. Peace.